Purnanandarasanubhuti Sahita Smera Prasannananam Purnendu Prabhamatma Bodhanilayam Shantam Niriham Param Nitya Nitya Vichara Sara Chaturam Nirmatsaram Pavanam Shri Bhoomanandamaham Natosmi Kalitanandam Param Shreyase.
This world is an ocean. Bhima, Bhava, Arnava. Arnava means ocean. Bhava means worldliness or world. Bhima means fierce, stupendous, imposing. Having crossed this Bhima, Bhavarnava, ahetunanyan abhitarayantaha, they always help the others to go across. And in so doing, they have no special motivation. They have no special desire. They have got the capacity, they have got the mind, they have got the compassion, they have got the felicity to offer. Therefore they do it. No motivation is there at all. See, when we went to United States, we spoke to a white crowd. It was arranged by Adult School of Montclair. They put a price for the talk. I was told by Pankaj, I said, I'm not happy at all, but what can we say? So we left the matter at that. But even now it is irking. It is aching me. See, I would like to spend my lifetime, the remaining time, without putting any charge for what we do. If we were to put a charge, it will be in crores and crores, multi-crores. See, whatever we do should be a free offering. Of course, people also offer something. They offer thousands, 10,000, lakhs also, very good. There is no objection at all. See, we have received an offering from somebody in Bombay. It is 1.25 lakhs of rupees. Nothing he has written, his name and address alone are known. We don't know why he has sent that money. The assumption is that the inner spiritual splendor Disha channel telecast, he must have heard, and it must have been an offering for that. We assumed, and we have written a receipt in this manner. But it's an offering. We never stipulated saying that this much is the charge for what I do. Even I think it's absolutely unthinkable for a sage. We have left everything. Our income producing effort, everything we left. House, blood relations, everything is left. After that, what is it that we are going to offer? We have nothing to offer. If we speak, it's a natural flow, that's all. So, ahetunanyanapi tarayantaha. When I read all these things, I would like to embody it in myself. Otherwise, I don't read. Whatever I read it only when it has a relevance to me. And relevance means I must be like that. Otherwise, I don't read. Even if I read, I will pass it off, bypass. Ahetunanyanapi tarayantaha. So, if at all I speak to you out of a natural sequence of matters. What else shall I do? Ma always tells me that you are overexerted. I say, Ma, what do? I only speak and write. Nothing else I do. So where is the overexertion? I either speak or I write. Only 2 items of work I do in my life. Either speak or write. And write sitting upon a chair, on the computer, or otherwise I dictate, etc. Or I speak, meet people and talk. So understand it. This is the culture of our land. This is the cultural greatness of our land. Cultural majesty of the land. I use 3 words. Characteral elegance, behavioral majesty, and interactional excellence. This is the message that I have to give to the people. In character, be elegant. In behavior, be majestic. Majestic. And in interactional life, you be excellent. Excellent. Do not be second to anybody in this world. Be first. Without any competition. Shanta mahanto nivasanti santo.
Shanta mahanto nivasanti santo.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Ahetunanyana pitarayantaha.
Ahetunanyana pitarayantaha.
There is a word in our culture called Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha is a Sanskrit word. This is generally used in the context of Mahatmas, Sajjanas, enlightened people, knowers of truth and the rest. What does it mean? Their life and whatever activities they perform, pursue, it's always meant for the goodness and the welfare of the society. I generally put it for the cohesion and well-being of the society. The word actually means Loka Sangraha. Lokasya Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittakam Karma Loka Sangraha. As the society continues to live, you will find there will always be various elements of corruption and malpractices. Do you understand? Do you agree or not? There is a proverb. What is that? When prosperity is there, men decay. See, our minds begin to decay, that's all. It just happens. You leave everything to itself. Then you will find no progress, no solidarity can be had. So when we have a large scope, then we were saying Britishers were robbing us of our wealth. Now, I don't know how many Britishers were there. Persons in authority would have been much less than what we have now. As far as the calculation I have is concerned, we have about 9,000 IAS officers in India and about 900 elected ministerial representatives. I don't know whether during the British regime so many people were there. Now everyone has got the key for public money in one way or the other. When money grows, men decay. It is a natural development. Why am I mentioning this? The role of Loka Sangraha comes because of this plight. As the society continues to live, a number of corruptions, a number of malpractices will creep in. Now somebody should come up and then say this is not right, and enlightening the people and persuading them through enlightenment, they will have to be brought back to their rails. So finding the society going wrong, walking the wrong way, somebody takes up the responsibility of explaining to them, for us the Shastras are there. What you do is not right. We will not talk to anybody individually. Collectively the criticism is offered so that nobody is offended. From a public platform, I speak a lot, and hearing me people even smile. When I explain the corruptional elements in humanity, all of them, because they are not personally attacked, it is only a general evaluation. This Loka Sangraha is something done by enlightened people. Arjuna came to the battlefront in Kurukshetra after 13 years of preparation. And when the chariot was stopped before Bhishma and Drona, in front of Bhishma and Drona, suddenly Arjuna felt a colossal sin facing him. And he laid down his weapons and said, I am going to leave the battlefield and I am going to be an ascetic man. Was it right or not? No answer? It was wrong. Now Krishna, if he was not there, Arjuna would have left. So Krishna admonished him, exhorted him, stopped him and gave him the correct point of view. Ever since then, Krishna's gospel continues to guide our society. It was a conversation that transpired between two individuals, two individual administratives, almost kings you can say. And that personal dialogue between the two transpired at one time in the battlefield of Kurukshetra has become the norm, the ideal, the standard for all of us. Anybody who reads Gita, he will always admit the fact that corruptional elements are in me and I cannot permit it. And what are the corruptions? Deva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. There is a chapter. Asura Sampat. What is the Asura Sampat? What is the Devi Sampat? That is mentioned. What is good? What is bad? So enlightening the people in this manner, bring them back to their rails. This is the role of Loka Sangraha. Whenever a sannyas, a person like me, he appears in the society, in the company of householders, addresses them, you will find what we do is Loka Sangraha. People generally give a name social service. What is the social service? A man can be served for his body and bodily needs. He can be served for his mental, intellectual and heart needs. Now what we are trying to do is, there will be primarily some peace in what we say or in our association. That peace is a minimum requirement like food and nourishment for the body. Then for the intelligence, there is a lot of persuading insights presented, compulsive values presented. I always say, when a value is rightly presented, it instantly evokes an emotional persuasion and an intellectual compulsion. Did you hear what I said? Any value, when you present it properly, the hearer will automatically feel an emotional persuasion towards it. And if it is rightly presented, the intelligence will put the stamp of compulsion. It is right, it is indispensable. That is how the values should be presented. When we selected the motto, Satyameva Jayade, there was a lot of insight in the people at that time. Because we are Indians. We are a slave country. We have got liberation. We have got the right to think. So the thoughts connected them to the Upanishads. And from the Mundaka Upanishad, the motto was selected. Satyameva Jayate. The next words are Na Anrudam. Never untruth. Satya alone will become victorious and truth will never be, it will always be non-victorious. I think this is the one central value which India is committed to. We have got a right to demand from the government as well as from every citizen an adherence to this motto. I don't know whether I should tell you. I have written a letter to the Chief Secretary of Kerala. Very recently, 4 brahmacharinis in our ashram, they have now to travel. They want to have an identity. And the first identity as it stands now is, electoral identity is there. They have no such identity there. So the ration card should be there minimum. So I felt that they should be included in the ration card. It is not an easy job. So I asked somebody to talk to the MLA of the place. So they were spoken to. Then our Prabhakaranji followed up the matter. So I got a telephone call from the personal assistant of the MLA saying that please don't come here, we will reach the certification for you in the ashram. I said no, we will send somebody. They certified, the village officer gave us a recognition and finally it was done. But you know, as happens always, they have all put what? Swamiji is the head of the family. All the others are brothers and sisters. This matter was always troubling me. So I have written a letter to the Chief Secretary saying that you should recognize that there are a number of ashram spiritual institutions in the country. Our tradition starts from that. It also perhaps ends with that. So you have to recognize, if our public administration does not take into account this wonderful ageless tradition of the country, culture of the country, we have to actually renounce everything before becoming a sannyasi. 2 kinds of renunciation. Renounce all our income. Any kind of a profession, lucrative affair we do, everything should be left. Then we should also declare to ourselves that we are no more connected to our blood relations. If you have a matrimonial one, that also. And we even offer Pinda and Udaka for ourselves so that when the body dies, no more Shraddha, no more Pindodaka Kriya. And so sanctifying and so sublime and sacrosanct sannyasa is. So I would like you to consider the matter. Our public administration cannot be so blind and so indifferent. So I feel bad about it. And we have listed all the reasons and we are sending a letter. See, when a sannyasin, he is himself a trust. He doesn't have the necessity to form another trust. Do you ask any temple deity to form a trust to receive the offerings the temple receives? Certainly not. So we are a living God and the temples have a mute God. That is the only difference. But our culture does not recognize it. What can be done? So when we selected the motto Satyameva Jayade, it had a great lot of meaning. And when we collected the national flag, that also had a lot of meaning. One is the green color representing the vegetation upon the earth. Another is the beautiful yellow. And the third is the white, pure white. And there is a chakra which is constantly supposed to be revolving. So the entire world is a world, a cosmic wheel of activity. Everywhere in the universe, all planets, all heavenly bodies, even the atom, everything is revolving here. Nothing is keeping quiet. And we cannot afford to be idle any time. We are having our food and the food is converted into energy. This energy has to be spent and only through activity it can be spent. If there is anybody who eats at the same time who does not act, there is a great crime and disharmony. That is what the wheel represents. Somebody had sought to explain it as the Ashoka's wheel. The wheel is there right beforehand. In Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned, Evam pravartidam chakram nanuvartayati hayaha aghayur indriyaramo mogham partha sajivati. Perhaps Krishna was the first person to use it in this context. Evam pravartidam chakram. The wheel of creation, the wheel of preservation, the wheel of activity, the wheel of sustenance, it has to be constantly held up. Anybody who does not adhere to it, his life is in vain, he says. Aghayuhu, aghayuhu. He lives a wasteful life. Indriya Ramaha. He is only given to sensory delights. He doesn't give any place for the mind or the intelligence. Mogham partha sajivati. He lives absolutely in vain. His life has no purpose at all. So much importance is there. So all these were done in a very good taste and with a great ideal. So this culture is something very, very great. Very, very great. So whenever Shankara describes it in this manner, you have to find a lot of insight here. You are connected to a prehistoric, ageless past. All these people are born in the household for householders. Most of them, or all of them you can say, except one or two, they are all people of the loins. They are all people of the world, secular people. But one will be here and there. One will be here and there, who is given to this greater and holy dimension. Shanta mahamto nivasanti santo vasantaval lokahidam charandaha. You know, in our doing what we do, we have no motivation at all. No desire, no expectation, no compulsion, no persuasion, nothing. It is just like the Vasanta Maruta that we are living and moving. I always style myself as, I have been a moving university for the past 56 years in the world. Anybody can take admission in my university. No fees are called for. It's open, an open university. I don't ask them to come, I go to them. All of you are not coming to the ashram from Jamshedpur, but I have been coming here for the past 47 years. See how faithfully I have been coming. So I am a moving university with the only mission of enlightening the people, young or old, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. And why am I doing it? I feel like doing it. What about the spring season? Collecting and spreading fragrance everywhere in the same manner as I am a human spring season. Just see the dimension. There are discussions. What is that? What is the greatest goal of human life? The physical need, the psychological need, the social need, and finally they say self-actualization. Our need is not just that. Self-actualization can be had and you can sit in the forest. But here Shankara says, no. Shanta mahamto nivasandi santo. You live in this world edifyingly, elegantly, enlighteningly, benedictorily. Your life should become a blessing for the people, a benefit for the people, an enrichment for the people, an endless contribution to their welfare and cohesion. Live in that manner. Acquire that personality, gain that personality. Understand it first, imbibe it next, pursue and perfect it still next, and then start flowing, 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 spreading, spreading, spreading. Vasantavallokahitam charantaha tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan. First of all, you have to cross the ocean of worldliness. Never make a mistake. These are days when we have spiritual academic institutions where 2 or 3 years courses are offered. It's very good. After the 3-year course, people become brahmacharyans or sannyasins and they start speaking to the others. At least that much they do. If you ask me, I am not in favor of it. This life has to be first of all lived by oneself, pursued by oneself. And there is no stealth or corruption here. You have to become pure. You have to become holy. You have to become benign. You have to become benevolent. Once that personal requirement is fulfilled, become a seeker of truth and see that your seeking is fulfilled. After fulfilling your seeking, having crossed the ocean of worldliness, tirna swayam, tirnaha, having gone across, swayam, ourselves, bhima bhavarnavam. This is a huge, fierce ocean of worldliness. Thereafter, janan ahetunanyana pitarayantaha. With no reason or motive in mind, you should be able to freely speak to people, interact with them, and promote, help, strengthen, and reinforce their welfare. Shankara is not satisfied. He describes it. What is this life? Is it ever possible if you ask? Yes, it is possible. Our life is primarily dependent upon 2 luminaries in the world. What are they? One is the sun. Another is the moon. Luminaries, I said. One is the sun. Another is the moon. We require the moon as much as we require the sun. The sun shines and spreads its rays of light and heat throughout the day. And the sun sets. Then the moon comes. Both of them are doing 2 different tasks. One is heating, another is cooling and lighting. See what a beautiful harmony is there. So he says, Ayam swabhava swatayesha yat swatayeva yat parash samapanoda pravanam mahatmanam sudham shuresha swayamarka karkasha prabhabhitaptam avadikshitim kila. You know, when I read this first, I don't know when I read it. Most probably my reading was when I was in Calcutta. In my pre-sannyasa life, I first read Mundakopanishad, then Kathopanishad, then Kenopanishad. Then I read Shvetashvataropanishad. Then I read Bhagavad Gita. I have told you, I shall say again. You know, I got an opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita in full when I had an attack of chicken pox. I could not go anywhere. I was huddling in my room. I looked at the mirror. People say, don't look at the mirror completely. I was having headache. I took a towel and tied it around my forehead. I started reading Bhagavad Gita. The whole of it I read. First time. A very good opportunity I had. When I was reading the second chapter, it was so inspiring. So inspiring. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo ashosyayevacha nityaha sarvagataha sthanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha avyaktoyam achindyoyam avigaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitumarhasi. Nanushochitumarhasi. Is there any father who has given this kind of a gospel to the children? My dear son, therefore, you don't deserve to grieve. You should not grieve. This is the reason for it. When I read Najayate mriyate va kadachid nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Bah! Bah! What was it? It was a song. Song of what? Of the soul. It was not something different. It was about the soul. Means what? The power and presence that animate and activate your body. This is not a description of the outside product. It is not a description of Vaikuntha or Kailasa. It is not a description of the sun or the moon or the heaven or Brahmaloka. It is a description of what makes you breathe. Do you follow me? हाँ? क्या बोलते हैं आप? सुन लीजिए ना, अच्छी तरह सोच लीजिए. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिद. Arjuna, what you call I, the jiva in the body, it never gets born, nor does it ever die. That means what? I am immortal. What? And what do all people tell you? You are mortal. You are mortal. Who is mortal? My body is mortal. My house I have built, but I have not built my body, much less the soul. So when we are born with a twofold heredity. One is the mortal heredity imposed by the body, and equally so the immortal one radiating from the soul. We have eyes only to see the mortal heredity of the body. We don't have the wisdom and the intelligence to comprehend, to realize the immortal nature of the spirit. So in my chicken pox spell, I had an occasion for it. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Na jayate mriyate va kadachid nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. After having been here for a while, the soul is not going to stop, cease or withdraw. It is existence. Existence can never become non-existent. Existence exists and exists. It never blinks. It never winks. It never becomes extinct. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano. This is unborn, ajaha, nityaha, eternal, shashvataha, ever present in the same manner. Puranaha, the most ancient. There is nothing more ancient than this.